Hello, everybody. Welcome to the class. I hope you had a very nice weekend and also a very good Monday. So this is the class of tonight. So we're going to start by checking the platform. So let's check into that. So this is the class of tonight. And for tonight also, we need to do the exercise, the one that is the 2.5. For this one, it says complete the conditional sentence, type 1, by putting the verbs into the correct form. And here, what you need to do is to enter all the sentences, okay, with the period. Remember that if you don't enter the correct form, if you have a space or anything that it doesn't belong, a symbol, is not going to take, okay? So this is the homework for tonight. And we're going to check the attendance. Let's see how it goes. Cristian Alexander Arevalo Delgado. Daniel Antonio Luna.
Present, teacher.
Good. Daniel Arquímedes Florentino García.
Present.
Good. Erika Yasmín Martínez Carpio.
Present.
Good. Fátima Denise Aguilar Márquez. Germán Alexander Durán Linares. Héctor Francisco Morales Rico.
Present, teacher.
Good. Iván Petrovich Guzmán Aquino. Jamie Raquel Escobar Alfaro. Holman Saúl Girón Sánchez.
Present.
Good. José Alberto Baños Hernández. Carla Lorena Leiva Contreras.
Present, teacher.
Good. Kenia Cecilia Ruiz Morán.
Present.
Good. Lucy Natalie Juárez de Ramírez. Manuel Antonio Escamilla Jurado.
Present.
Ah, okay. Herman Silva already. Okay. Let's see. Nelson Antonio Rodas Rosales.
Present.
Good. Osvin Alexis Flores Hernández.
Present.
Good. Samantha Marisol Campos Flamenco.
Present.
Good. Zulma Janet Ramírez Ábalos.
Present.
Good. Vanessa Noemí Reyes Lemos.
Present.
Good. David Alexander Rodríguez Sánchez.
Present, teacher.
Good. Perfect. So I mentioned everybody. Oh, let me just check here. Lucy Natalie. Okay.
You didn't.
Herman.
Herman. Okay. Good.
Thanks.
Manuel. Check. Yes. Okay.
Teacher, you didn't ask me to.
Yes, I said your name, but I guess something happened. But I'm going to take it here. All right. So here we go. Okay, we're going to start with a video. This is not that short. It's a little long video. All these videos, remember, that are there in the book. If you click where it says YouTube, you will be able to watch them whenever you want. Also, remember that in YouTube, something interesting. In YouTube, if you want to check about pronunciation, for example, you can click and get the captions, right? So you can see all the words that they're saying. And also you can change the speed of the video. So if you want to, if they speak very fast, you can decrease the speed so you understand better, right? So there are many things that you can do there. So by now we're gonna watch a little video. Well, it's not that little, but it's an interesting one. So let's see how it goes. Remember that, as usual, when we watch a video, we are going to analyze not only what is the video about, but also we're gonna check about pronunciation, vocabulary, and things. Okay, so here we go. It says, Use It, Don't Diffuse It by Chris Marie Campbell and Susan Clark. Let's see how it goes.
Marie Campbell.
Conflict. It's a source of pain on any team or even any relationship. But what if conflict wasn't good or bad?
What if conflict was an energy source for creativity, innovation, and transformation?
Susan and I have spent over 15 years working with hundreds of business leaders and their teams. Our clients actually call us the team doctors because we focus on the health of the team in order to get to smart business results.
Well, there is the one that refers to us as the dentist.
That is true.
I think she just hates conflict, not us. I'm not sure.
Let's hope so. She keeps bringing us back, so. Have you ever been on a team where two people wouldn't deal with each other, so you had to manage around them?
Or have you ever worked with someone where you just wanted to be able to have a good debate and they kept taking it so personally?
Or have you ever worked with somebody who it's always got to be a battle, like can't we just get along? In these situations, you might think conflict's the problem. Conflict isn't the problem. It's the choice to diffuse it rather than use it. That's the problem.
So today we're going to introduce you to two magic ingredients that if you use them in a conflict situation will turn conflict into creativity in an instant. So just a little bit more about us. Well, we are a team. We've been business partners and life partners for over 15 years. Let's just say we've gotten into a lot of conflict.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And we do conflict very differently. We approach it differently, and we have different styles. And
we can all agree.
no, what we can agree on, I forgot my line. What we can agree on is that conflict and forgetting your lines is a natural and healthy part of any relationship.
Yes, it's a natural and healthy part, but that doesn't mean I like it. Conflict terrifies many people, and I've been one of those people. I grew up with an Army colonel father, and as a little person, my dad was big, loud, and scary. And the only thing predictable about him was he was gonna get upset. So every night at dinner, it was like running the gauntlet, hoping he wouldn't blow up. One night, we were stationed in Georgia. We lived in this old historic house, so it was a big kitchen, white kitchen, red curtains over the sink. And we were all sitting around the table. My dad was across from me, and they were making fun of one of my teachers, and I was 13 at the time. Well, I had just gotten to that place where I had had enough. So I stood up, and I said, "Shut up, shut up, shut up!" A little louder than that, though. I didn't want to blow you guys out with the mic. In a nanosecond, my dad was around the table. His hand was on my shirt, and I felt a fist in my face. It was a terrifying moment. I froze. He kept punching. My sister finally pulled him off, and I fell to the floor in a puddle of my own pee. That was a life-changing traumatic event for me. I decided then and there, whoa, it is not safe enough. It's too dangerous. I'm not going to be vulnerable and say how I really feel or show my emotions or my anger. No way. My body made a decision. Anytime there were disagreements, it would flood with fear. And I started to actually seek safety by tracking and managing my external environment, all the people around me. So if there was any tension in the environment, I would ask a question or change the subject or rephrase somebody's inflammatory comments so the other person could hear better. I always made sure I nodded and smiled and kept eye contact. But I took it a step further because I wanted to make sure those power people in my life that they were happy. So I decided I wanted to focus on what they wanted me to become, and I would do that. So I'd been a C or D student. I went to getting all A's. I wasn't an athlete. I went all the way to the frickin' Olympics. I was a Boeing flight test engineer, the most macho part of Boeing. This is not an engineer. And I wound up at a top 5 consulting firm. Ironically, my expertise at that consulting firm facilitating tough conversations. No surprise, I had spent the requisite 10,000 hours around my dining room table diffusing tension. I had become a professional conflict avoider, facilitating conversations, but never really showing up in them. And while I looked good on the outside, I was terrified on the inside. And I felt like a frickin' fraud. And then I met Susan Clark. And I saw her work with a group in conflict, but she did it completely different than I did. I mean, she had an opinion, she was passionate. I was like, oh my God. But I knew I wanted to do that. And I'll let her tell you about her.
So for me, surfacing conflict saved my life. When I was 23, I had my dream job. I was teaching, life was good. And then I got sick. I started to lose weight, I couldn't keep any food down, I had no energy. I ended up in the hospital. And the doctors kept asking me over and over about my past. They kept wanting to know about my past. And I kept saying, I had a healthy, happy childhood. Well, apparently there was a difference between what I was saying on the outside and what they were seeing on the inside. They were seeing a lot of evidence of scarring and sexual trauma. And basically what they said to me is, you need to go get some answers. You need to go ask your family some questions, or maybe go see a psychiatrist. Well, I did. And it was like opening Pandora's box. All of a sudden, my happy, healthy childhood became a nightmare. I started to remember these horrible, violent acts, mostly at the hands of a charismatic camp director who no one, including my family, wanted to rattle or disrupt or mess with that image. Well, my life depended on it, so I kept going. I went back to my doctors, and they now had resolved the conflict from the past, so they were able to diagnose me in the present. And they diagnosed me with stage 4 non-Hodgkin's lymphoma. Now, you might be thinking, that sucks. But actually, believe it or not, in that moment, it was sort of a relief. Suddenly, I had something to focus on. I had something that the treatments were distracting me from these crazy memories, the conflict in my family, and that was actually good, until the treatment stopped working. I can still remember the day well when I sat across from my doctor, and she said to me, we don't have any more options. You have about 6 months to live. Suddenly, I found myself with this dying body, these crazy ass memories that no one was really validating or acknowledging. And I realized I was at a critical choice point. I could quit, which actually really frankly seemed like the best bet at that moment. I could keep fighting with my family, with my doctors, with my own memories, or I could get curious. And well, that led me to the Haven, ironically to a program called Come Alive. And it was there that I discovered the amazing energy source and aliveness that comes from really surfacing, dealing with, and using conflict. I won't kid you, it was hell. But that experiencing of surfacing conflict changed my life, saved my life.
So you just heard our two very personal stories, which we don't tell all the time. And I want you to think about your story, what you learned about conflict growing up. Now think of a team you're on now, or a significant relationship. How do you deal with conflict today? Conflict isn't good or bad, but I'm not kidding you. You're not crazy, it's hard and uncomfortable. And that's because our nervous system gets fired and we go into fight, flight, or freeze. And we all have our own personal triggers. Mine is anybody getting upset in the environment, and I get really anxious. My body floods with fear and I want to run.
Well, mine, if I'm around people who are really nice and polite and not saying stuff, I actually start to think they're up to something dangerous. And I go to fight. You know?
So the
got me into a little trouble, I will admit. You know.
The question I had to ask, and you may want to ask, is, do I want to let my nervous system control me and limit me?
So you probably are wondering, why are we talking about all this personal stuff? And how does this relate to business and teams? Well, business is personal, and we still have business to do. So cue Lego movie.
Because this is what people think a team's going to be like. Everything is awesome. Everything is cool when you're part of a team. Everything is awesome. Oh, thank you. But that's not what happens, really. No, what really happens on a team is you do start out with an awesome vision. Great. So you gather some smart people, and they are passionate about your cause. And all of a sudden, these smart people start having very different opinions. And then those different opinions come with strong emotions because they've got a lot of passion. And you're stuck in, I'm right, you're wrong, and we're smack dab into conflict. Now, we don't like conflict. So most people choose to diffuse it. And it could be, you might have a style like me, like, well, okay, we'll do it your way, a peacekeeper style. Or it could be, I'm going to take charge, I'll do it my way. You guys are going to thank me when I get done. It could be, hey, I'm out of here until you guys get done with all that messy stuff, and then I'll come back and do some real work.
So teams that do this, they stall. People get disengaged. Worse, they start to undermine each other. And the teams like this don't get to great results. They get to mediocre at best. This disengagement is because people are not using conflict. They're avoiding it or diffusing it.
And here's some data from Gallup, and they talk about the different engagement levels. Go ahead.
So look at, when you see this, 1/3 of a company is usually disengaged. And let's just talk about that 17.5. Because they say actively disengaged, that's sort of nice and polite for something really bad is going on there. Let's just say, those people, something's going on for them, or they're very dissatisfied with where they are.
And we do think this disengagement is because people are not dealing with and surfacing conflict. So we want to talk to you about the 2 magic ingredients that actually transform conflict into creativity in an instant. They are vulnerability and curiosity. So the first magic ingredient, vulnerability. I don't know anybody who actually likes the concept of vulnerability, except for maybe Brené Brown. But in business, you've got to be kidding. Business is a realm of invincibility. And, but we're talking about on a team where relationships matter, and vulnerability is a key. Vulnerability is not about being weak. Vulnerability is the willingness to expose oneself to danger, to take a risk and be honest about what's really happening, to say what you think, feel, and want. And I've got to tell you, I do not like this concept at all. I still say, God, why do I have to be vulnerable?
Should I tell him? You were actually arguing about it about an hour ago. She wanted me to take this part.
But the benefit, when I have the courage to actually stand up and say what I really think and feel and want, even share my anger, which didn't go well earlier in my life, I actually stop managing you guys, and I land inside my own shoes and I connect from there. And I reclaim more of me, my voice, my emotional and creative expression. And I'm actually pretty good in conflict these days.
I'm going to vouch for that. So let's talk about that second ingredient, curiosity. So what curiosity doesn't mean is letting go of my judgments. I often hear people say to me, I don't want to be judgmental. Really? Your judgments, your ability to discern, to imagine, that's one of your greatest gifts. You want smart, opinionated people on your team. You hired them for that. The problem isn't our judgments. The problem is we get stuck to them. We get married to them. We get attached to them. We think we're right. I do this all the time. I know this one.
She does.
And it's very sticky, What curiosity does mean is the willingness to own my judgments and then get interested and curious about a different perspective. To be willing to consider that there's more than one right way, more than one truth, more than one possibility. And to get over my need to be right. Now for me, that meant that I had to get curious about cancer. I had to consider that cancer wasn't just an enemy. There was something there for me to learn from it. I had to get curious about those memories and quit just burying them down. And I even had to get curious about the difference between my storyline about the past and my family's.
So when you combine curiosity and vulnerability in the midst of conflict, that's when you start to use the energy of conflict rather than diffuse it.
So let's give you a business case scenario of this. We were working with an IT company, and they were pretty successful. They're successful enough that they were able to acquire, that's the word I'm looking for, acquire a smaller company. And with that acquisition, Jane, the president of the smaller company, got planted on the executive team. Now, 3 months into this new deal, the CEO, Frank, of the IT company called us. I'm pretty sure he just wanted us to help him fire Jane. But we came in and we started working with them over a 2-day period. They got to the part where they were talking about their strategy. Jane was vehemently opposed to what the team was proposing. 3 of the guys from the executive team got up, were pointing at her, screaming at her. I actually thought we were going to have to be real medical doctors. I was a little concerned. But then we said, time out, do you remember vulnerability and curiosity? And one of the guys, one of the really angry guys, said, in an angry voice, but he started there, he said, look, okay, I'm going to be vulnerable. I'm going to tell you, Jane, I have been angry and frustrated with you since you joined this team. And I really haven't listened to anything you've said. Now, then he said, and he got curious. He said, I actually want to try to. And he walked over and he sat next to Jane. Now, Jane, she took a breath, which I should do, and she said, this has been really hard. But then she launched into her idea, and you could see light bulbs go off with Joe and the rest of the team because they knew she had a good idea. And they stepped back, redesigned their entire strategy to include Jane's idea. That new strategy catapulted them into the #3 spot in their industry.
So we find this all the time on teams, high caliber people that can't work together. And it's our job to help bring them together and recognize it's not my way or your way, it's a whole new way. And teams and relationships that do this, that utilize vulnerability and curiosity, come up with innovative solutions, not just once, but repeatedly. They bounce back from setback and failure, and people involved feel engaged and alive.
So I want to take you back to when I had just 6 months to live, to the last morning of that Come Alive. It was a transformative moment for me. The leaders of the workshop wanted to do a healing circle for me. I have to admit, I was a little skeptical of that. And they invited their friend, Father Jack, a Roman Catholic priest. Now, when he walked into the room in his robes, all hell broke loose. There were some people in that room that had some pretty serious issues with organized religion. That loving, kind, healing circle, chaos, mayhem. It was not pretty. Until Father Jack said something. He got vulnerable. He said, you know, I realize I'm representing the church here, and I have made some mistakes. My church has made some mistakes. And then he got curious. He said, I am interested in hearing from you. Well, suddenly, it got very real, very quickly. And people, you know, it was a changing moment because I'd never seen conflict get dealt with like that. Such a contentious issue get dealt with vulnerability and curiosity. As a matter of fact, that was the healing. I went back and had to have surgery to remove tumors. They opened me up. The tumors were gone. Now, I really believe that in that moment, that experience of being in a situation where there was that kind of conflict and people dealt with it differently saved me.
So we'll leave you with this. Conflict is an energy source for innovation, creativity, and transformation. It's time we stop looking for safety and magic outside of ourselves and recognize the resources we have within and between us to bridge our differences and tap that unlimited renewable resource.
So you are capable of amazing things. I know we're out of time now, so I'm going to wrap this up quickly. You are capable of amazing things. So the next time you get stuck in conflict, remember, diffuse it. I mean,
oh my God.
I just, you know,
she blew the punchline.
Okay, we're going to be fighting about this later.
Yes.
Use it. Don't diffuse it. Because you too can change the world. One team, one relationship, one conflict at a time.
Thank you.
Okay.
What did you get from the video about the two women speaking about the management of conflicts? Anybody?
Can you hear me?
I can hear you right. Yeah.
Okay. I'm sorry.
Are you okay?
A little bit sick, but I'm gonna be okay.
Okay.
I'm sorry. So I think I had to watch that video yesterday at night because today
really?
because today at working I have a little big huge problem with another coworker. And that's pretty interesting because we start working there in September. She is still as a customer service agent, and now I'm a supervisor. And I have like 1 month in that position. And I remember like when the notice go up and the whole dealer, she was the first one who create a little problem with me. I don't know why, for to be honest, I don't know why, and I don't want to think in the bad way with her, but today, actually, it explodes everything, because I'm in I had the new team, and I select different agents to work with me, actually, in the credit account. And the boss, the another supervisor or the another manager from the other teams, they told me to take her because she's a little problematic girl, and nobody wants to work with her because her character mm, is is not is not friendly. And today she tried to argue with me. Today she actually insulted me with a very heavy word in front of the other managers. And for to be honest, I just ignore her. I don't want to continue arguing with her. I just tell her, okay, have a nice day, and just turn and go back of the and walk go back of the room actually. And she continue insult pretty loud actually. And at the beginning I thought that it was because she is pregnant, but she was not pregnant when I was an agent with her, and her character is pretty difficult for the rest of the coworkers. But she is a good seller, that's why she is still at the company. But when I saw the video yesterday, actually, for to be honest, I'm that kind of person that if you insult me, I'm going to insult you back. And it doesn't matter who is around me, just give you the insult back. But when I saw the video, I actually recognized how sometimes I act the bad way actually. And nowadays I just prefer to keep my mind health and my everything safe and just ignore her. I know maybe it's not the good way to affront that kind of conflict, but in the afternoon she goes to my floor to my team, and she wants to talk to me, and I, for to be honest, I just ignore her. Just tell her, yeah, okay, yeah, yeah. And she tried actually to continue arguing with me, but not loudly. Like it's like a little bit I don't know how to say it, but it was pretty stressful day for me, and I just in my mind it was a good way to just ignore her. I know maybe I try to talk to her, maybe try to argue, but relax, or just to talk to her and find how to resolve it. But for to be honest, I just want to ignore her today because it was very stressful and distractful to the other teams actually, because she speaks really loud, and when she's insult to everybody, it was like, ugh, we don't want to work with her. But just another normal day with her. Yeah, that's
Okay.
it. In my case, I just ignore her and continue my day, continue with my working. And actually, she, at the end of the day, she just tried because she loves to work with people, and I just ignore her. And I think that to ignore her, that really hurt her to her. And yeah, so that's it.
Okay. Interesting story. Yes. Sometimes it's difficult, but I mean, what I think is that it's not a good environment. I mean, that stress you and all the people around. So if she doesn't change, I mean, at the end, you have to fire her. There's no other way. And even when she's a good seller, it doesn't matter. The respect is very important. Nobody can disrespect you or any other person. So, and as I was telling you, probably what's going to happen is that every day you are going to be stressed out to go to work, to be there. You're going to see her. I mean, you have to decide, I believe. You have to decide if you really want to help her out to change, which is a big compromise and probably is going to be difficult for you. But probably if you really help her and she changes that part of her life, she is going to be very thankful with you for the rest of her life. Or, I mean, the short way is to fire her, right? I mean, other people can come and take her position. Of course, you have to think or check that with the rest of the team, not only you. Human resources, other people can help you there, analyze the situation, but you cannot continue like because I mean, it's not healthy. Maybe one day you will be angry and you are going to tell her something, and maybe it's you the one that will be fired. Imagine that would be crazy. So you need to think about that one. You need to think what you have to do. Don't suffer that yourself. You have to look for the help of other departments and solve that as soon as possible, because to work in that environment is to live like that, even if any kind of relationship, if it's your boyfriend or girlfriend, or if it's your mother or father, whoever is it, it's not good. It's not good. So I know that there are always some conflicts, and actually we're going to discuss that not today but other day. Today's like the startup for that one, but yeah, it's something that you need to handle. And you need to handle, check, I mean, videos like this one, how to solve it and decide, because I mean, you can try to change her, but if she doesn't want to change her at the end, I mean, there's nothing you can do, but you cannot suffer that for a long time. That's not good. All right, any other comments or opinions on the video? Was kind of interesting, but I know it was kind of large as well.
Hi, teacher. Good evening.
Good evening.
I was late for the video, but what I was able to understand at least in the last part is that they told about the use of conflicts to be creative and to be able to give very creative answers or response that currently the conflicts should not be seen a negative way, but rather as an opportunity to explore our capabilities Well, I don't know. Is something like that?
Very good. Very nice. So actually, that is it. Yeah, you know, the crisis is an opportunity. It's always an opportunity for you to grow, to learn, to understand something. And conflicts, there are always conflicts, but you have to stop and think about it, right? You have to analyze what you can do, and it's an opportunity to be creative. They mentioned some cases and what they did, so it's very interesting how they solve those things. Sometimes you have to stop and think. Sometimes you need to analyze, I mean, objectively, which sometimes is kind of hard, but it's possible to handle these kind of situations in a very good way, in a way where everybody's going to satisfy and everybody will learn and grow. Thank you, Jose Alberto. Any other comments or opinions on the video? Okay, so one of the things that help us to manage some conflicts is emotional intelligence. What do you understand about emotional intelligence, my friends? In your own words.
It's a ability. How do you say blandas in English?
Blandas.
Yeah.
Depende. ¿Qué es lo que está hablando?
My abilities, the intelligent emotion is ability, es una habilidad blanda.
It's a soft skill. Soft skill.
Soft skill. Okay. Okay, thank you. Soft skills.
Okay.
So soft skill in the company, I received many capacity for the topics. It's interesting topic. Is important in the company. For example, the conflict in the co-working is every day.
Yeah.
Depend the environment, the company, right?
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. The company is very important. I mean, you can be a kind of person, but if the environment is a total mess, I mean, at the end, something's going to happen, right? And the most common outcome is that you are going to go to it because nobody wants to be fighting or have conflicts all day long. So that's not good. And you are right. This is soft skill that we're going to discuss about tonight. So let me just present for class. And here is it. Okay. So as I was telling you, we're going to discuss about emotional intelligence. It says emotional intelligence, otherwise known as emotional quotients or EQ, is the ability to understand, use, and manage your own emotions in positive ways to relieve stress, communicate effectively, empathize with others, overcome challenges, and diffuse conflict. Emotional intelligence helps you build stronger relationships, succeed at school and work, and achieve your career and personal goals. It can also help you to connect with your feelings, turn intention into action, and make informed decisions about what matters most to you. So this is a very complete definition. Lots of things interesting here. So you need to understand, use, and manage your own emotions. To understand your emotions is not easy, right? Sometimes you're angry. I don't know, for example, have you ever had a feeling? Have you ever seen a person and you didn't like that person? You meet someone and you say, I don't like that person. Have you ever happened that one? Have you ever felt that? Anybody?
Yes.
Yes, that happens
Yeah.
to everybody, right? Why? I mean, you don't know that person. I mean, you just know the name of the person, you just saw the person walking, and you didn't like that person. It's like, my goodness, I don't like that person. Those are emotions. Something in that person reflects something in you, right? But it's not that that is a bad person. Sometimes, and this is another question for you, have you ever happened that you didn't like one person at the beginning, but when you get to know the person is very nice, and now is your friend? That is that happened to you sometime?
Yes, I have an anecdote about that.
Tell us if you want.
Many years ago, I worked in a company before I am in this company. I know a person who she's a woman. She was a receptionist in that company, but she was rude with all people. And some people say that she talks in a rude mode and say the things without thinking about what she was saying. But for the time, she was getting more polite, and we have a group that we take lunch. But at the beginning, we all said about she was rude. And after in taking lunch, we say to her that she was so in bad mood, and she was I don't know, she was se estaba riendo.
She was laughing.
She was laughing because she was not she was not thinking about she had that comportamiento,
Behavior
with the people. She was not consciente. She didn't do that and for this time we all the group are friends.
Okay, very good. So you say something interesting in that story. Very interesting. Sometimes, yeah, sometimes some people they do things that you don't like, and you say, "My goodness, this person." Imagine this in this situation, you thought that she was rude, but she is like that. She is maybe some people is the way that they are. Some people they speak loud. Some people they are that way, but they are not that person. And when you get to know that person, then you get a very good relationship with you. So that happens. And emotions are always there, even when you don't like it, even when you don't want feelings. Emotions are always there. So yeah, you are going to feel some connection with some people, and some other people you are not going to. You don't want to relate with this, but it's very strange because sometimes you don't know this. That happens, and that is linked to the emotions, to the feelings, and that's what I was telling you. That it's very important to understand your own feelings, because it's you the one that is feeling something bad about the other person. Maybe the other person is like normal, right? But it's you the one that is feeling those strong things that says, I don't like that person. That person is this. I mean, some people, they can go farther and they can tell to other people, I don't like that person. That person is like this and like this and like this. And then you and other people start thinking about that one, and it's not good. We need to understand why this happens. And we need to get the opportunity, the chance to go and meet that person and then check if actually that person is one way. So that is kind of the emotional intelligence. So let's read about that, okay? Let's see. Ivan Petrovich, could you please read this slide?
Okay. Emotional intelligence is commonly defined by four. What is the pronunciation of this word? Attributed?
Well, it defined by 4 attributes.
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 Okay, 4 attributes. Okay, self-management. You are able to control impulsions, feeling, and behaviors. Manage your emotion in healthy ways. Take initiative. Follow through on commitments, right?
Commitments.
Commitments. Thank you. And adapt to changing circumstances. Circumstance. Thank you.
Okay, what did you understand on this first attribute?
In my opinion, it's a self-management. The people the people they have self-control. In my opinion, the people they have self-control in your emotions. But if a person he have good self-control, your manage is better because manejar not rides car, manejar people.
Handle people or manage people?
Manage people in the department, in the company, something like that.
Okay, very good, perfect. So this is one of the most important things. Self-control, as you say, Petrish. Self-control is important. So definitely for you to have self-control, to have self-management, you need to understand yourself. You need to know, oh, this makes me angry. So I need to, when I have this situation, I need to relax. I need to breathe, right? Or there are many kinds of emotions. So for example, there are people that they are impulsive to buy things. So if you go to stores, you say, oh, I want this and this. It's like when we go to Dollar City, right? Everybody, when we go to Dollar City, we want to buy one thing, but we bring 10 things, right? Unnecessary. We don't need those things. But those are also emotions, feelings. It's like, oh, look at this. It's only $1 and this is just $2. And we buy things. So self-control is in many ways, in many levels, in many situations. And you need to understand that part. The things that are for you, for yourself, the things that makes you happy, and the things that makes you sad or angry, right? And if you know that this situation, it makes you angry, you need to have like a strategy. Some people, for example, when they are speaking with somebody and they get angry, they stop and they go away. They say, I'll be back. Wait 10 minutes. And they go for a walk and then relax. And when they are relaxed, they come and continue the conflict resolution, let's say. But if you are angry, and you can say something that is not correct, right? So self-control is the first attribute and is very, very important. Let's check some words here. So define is like a definition, right? Attributes is like different things that are part of something. You're able. What is to be able? Anybody?
It's when you can do something.
Perfect. Is a synonym of can. Let's see. Behavior, you know what is that one, right? The way that people behave. Healthy ways. Commitment. What is a commitment?
When you promise do something.
Very good. When you promise to do something and then you do it, right? That is a commitment. Like when you get married, right? You commit that you are going to be there in the bad and in the good days. Sometimes it's difficult, but you have to be there. You promise, you are committed, all right? So, and adapt to changing circumstances. Any questions here? Okay, let's go ahead.
Don't feel clear what is commitments.
Commitment is like when you, for example, in New Year's, in December 31st, you have some promises for yourself. And you say, I'm going to commit this year that I'm going to do exercise and I'm going to learn English and French and I'm going to go running. So those are commitments. There are promises that you do to yourself that you're going to do. So the commitment is with yourself. So a commitment is something that you say that you are going to do, and then you have to accomplish those things, like different things that you want to achieve. But this is like before you do the things. Before you do the things, you commit to do it, and then you plan to do those things, and then you achieve. Is that clear?
And when say follow through on commitments.
It's like when you have a commitment and you have to follow up on those. So you have a commitment. For example, the commitment for you is to learn English. A follow-up of the learning of English is to go to classes, to do the homework, to practice. All those things are follow-ups. I would say commitment in Spanish, compromiso.
Okay.
Okay.
Yes, thank you, teacher.
You're welcome. Any other question? Okay, so let's check the next one. The second attribute is for Vanessa Noemi. Could you please help me reading the second one?
Okay. Self-awareness. You recognize your own emotions and how they affect your thoughts and behavior. You know your strengths and weaknesses and have self-confidence.
Okay, what do you understand in this one?
I understood that it's when you can control yourself because you know what are your emotions, and you can explain, I think, and you can act confidence with other persons. So because you can control your emotions.
Perfect, that is it. So that is it. The first one is self-control, right? It's like, stop, this is not good. This one is to know, to really know yourself. What is good and what is bad, your strengths and your weaknesses. So you are confident on the way that you are going to handle those feelings, those emotions. So you can take advantage of that one so you can achieve things. So let's see, recognize you. I'm looking for words, but I don't see any words. Do you have any questions here? Anybody?
Chair.
Oh, go ahead.
What means self-confidence?
Okay, confidence is like trust. you trust in yourself.
Okay.
Any other question? Okay, let's move on. So the next one is social awareness. So this is a step beyond, right? I know myself and now have to know about my social. Fatima, could you please help me reading this?
Social awareness. You have empathy. You can understand the emotions, needs, and concerns of the people. Pick up on emotional cues. Feel comfortable socially and recognize the power dynamics in a group or organization.
Very good. What did you understand on this paragraph?
I think is empathy and know how to your emotional affect the emotion the emotional the people under your manage.
Okay, very good. So it's like that one, right? So look what it says at the beginning. You have empathy. What is empathy, my friends?
Put on the shoes on the other people. In simple phrase.
Yeah, that is it. It's when you put yourself in the
you get a comprehension about other people. You are agree, you understand what happened to other people. If the other people is feel sad, you say you understand, I agree with you. I get a comprehension about that you happen. I think.
Exactly. Very good. Remember that it's not the same sympathy than empathy. Sympathy is like when you say you're sad. Oh, okay. I hope you feel better. Okay. Do you want to eat or something? Let's go out. That is not empathy, right? That is sympathy. We say, oh, I'm sorry. Okay, whatever, right? But empathy is when you say, what can I do to help you? Okay, is there anything that I can do? I know that is your own experience, but I can help you with something, right? So you are part of it, really part of it. So, and it says you can understand the emotions, needs, and concerns. What is concerns?
Sorry. So it's like
It's important to me, I think. Yeah, my
like
concern. Yes.
Like a problem or issue.
It could be something like an issue, a problem, a concern, something that is making me think, is make me analyze what is going to happen, something like that. Good. So yeah, you understand emotions, needs, and concerns of other people. Pick up emotional cues. What are cues?
It's like a science.
Very good. Like signs. Sometimes people, sometimes people they don't say. They don't say what they have a problem. But if you look at them, they're sitting down, they don't want to eat, you know that something's going on, right? So you see the signals and then you go and check that. Those are the cues, emotional cues. Feel comfortable socially and recognize the power dynamic in a group of organization. So that is social awareness. Okay, so now I understand myself and I can control myself. Then I can go and jump into social awareness, where I can feel empathy, where I can try to understand other people and try to help, okay, in a very good way. So that is social awareness. And it's also very good. Any questions on this one? Any word, pronunciation, or vocabulary that you don't get it?
Is the goal, the social awareness is dynamics in the group. What is ¿cómo podría I don't say in English, ¿cómo sería la aplicación de ese concept?
Okay. Yeah, it's dynamic in a group organization because remember that we change. Everybody changes. Sometimes, I mean, it might be that you are a very good friend of a group of people, but maybe they started dating, something changed in their lives and they change. And you need to be empathetic with those changes. So that happens. People change. And you cannot say, hey, what happened with you? You're not the same. No, you have to understand. Maybe you can ask, hey, is there a problem or something going on? But you need to understand that they are going to change and also that you are going to change. So that will be.
Okay.
Good. Any other question? Okay, let's check the other one, relationship management. Let's see. Holman, Saul, could you please help me reading this one?
Hi. Relationship management. You know how to develop and maintain good relationships, communicate clearly, inspire and influence others, work well in a team, and manage conflict.
What did you understand in relationship management?
Well, I think, and it's like you are the manager, but you have to do work with your employees, with your co-workers. You have to do work because they have to think, hey, you are my manager, but you are like a friend. You are like a bro. It's I can talk with you very well. If like not is like a friend, but is you have to do real. You have to do real with your employees. You have to transmit good energy, good vibes. Be warm with the co-workers because it's important have good communication and try to understand always the people.
Perfect, very good, thank you. So that is it. I mean, this is the last attribute, the last level, right? If you see, we are coming from the inside to the outside. So the first one was self-control. You need to control yourself. Something is causing you angry, stop. The second one is self-awareness. So you need to know yourself. You need to know your strengths and weaknesses. The second one was the empathy part. So you need to be empathetic, understand others. Once you do all those things, you can do a very good relationship management. Because it doesn't matter if other person is angry, you are empathetic and you will understand. You are going to keep calm. You are going to try to resolve, to try to find the cause of the conflict. So this is a very nice thing. I mean, emotional intelligence is good because of this. If you really understand your emotions and how other people affect you, you will be able to manage those and manage any conflict. Okay. So let's see if we have any words here. Develop, maintain relationship, clearly inspire, and influence others. Work well in a team and manage. I don't think so. Do you have any questions here in this one? Okay, no questions. Let's continue. But why this is important? That is something that Osvin Alexis will tell us.
Is emotional intelligence so important? As we know, it is not the smartest people who are the most successful or the most fulfilled in life. You probably know people who are academically brilliant and yet are socially inept and unsuccessful at work, unsuccessful at work or in their personal relationship, intellectual ability, or your intelligence quotients. IQ isn't enough, or it only achieve success in life. Yes, your IQ can help you get into college, but if your EQ, that will help you manage the stress and emotion when facing your final exam. IQ and EQ exist in tandem and are most effective when they build off one another.
Build off.
Build off one another.
What did you understand on this?
I understand if you are no smart smart people, from I don't know, it's a large
in your own words, what you understand.
There are a lot of ideas in that paragraph.
Okay.
But I understand that IQ has a different that intelligence and emotional intelligence, because IQ can be a person that creates a lot of things, an inventor, but emotional intelligence is can be it can be applied personal relationship. I understand.
Okay, perfect, very good. So yes, it's very interesting, this paragraph. I mean, the first part asks you a question, right? Have you ever known a person that is very intelligent, but is not successful? That happens sometimes. There are people that are very smart. They understand math, they understand physics, they understand many things, but they don't have good relationships. So they are not able to go, for example, in mind that person that is very smart, but they go to an interview. They are not able to handle the interview. They're nervous. Sometimes they say things that are not proper, things like that one. So they cannot get a good job. even when they are very, very intelligent. So here we're talking about two things. The IQ, there is the intelligence quotient, okay, how smart you are, and the EQ, that is the emotional quotient. How do you handle to be with other people? So both. Yeah, for the FBI is also very important, the emotional intelligence, you know, because they they can handle, manage people that thief, right? Oh my goodness, who's that? Okay. All right, so that is it. It's very important. I mean, I believe that you know person like that one, very intelligent person, but they don't have friends. They are like, I don't know, something's going on. So both things are important. That's the way of this paragraph. Let me check if there are some words. Fulfill. What is to be fulfilled?
No idea.
Okay, fulfill is like complete. You feel that you have everything. You're happy. You're fulfilled. Okay. Then it says academically brilliant and yet are socially inept. You know what is inept, right? That is the same as in Spanish. And successfully at work on their personal relationship, intellectual ability of your intelligence quotient. A quotient is like a relation, right? It's a math thing. You divide a number between the other. Achieve success in life. Okay, I don't think there is any other. Tandem. A tandem is like a balance. They are linked and they are in balance. That is a tandem. Any question that you might have?
EQ is emotional quotient.
Emotional quotient, yeah, that is the emotional intelligence. Okay.
Teacher, what's meaning will off? What is translation?
Yeah, let me check.
Off. It's in the last sentence.
Okay. Yeah, it's like construct a new relationship. In this context is something like that. When you are going to construct, when you are going to create another relationship.
Create a relation, but I confuse this word off.
No.
I mean off. It's like out.
And no, when we have phrasal verbs, it's going to be different. Build is just like build something. Build in is like building to up. Build off is to build like in both ways. That is it. Okay.
Okay. Is this word tandem?
Tandem is the one that I was telling. Is when something is linked and in balance.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Any other questions? Okay, let's move on, my friends. Emotional intelligence affects, let's say, Daniel Archimedes, could you please help me with this?
Okay. Emotional intelligence affects your performance at the school or work. High emotional intelligence can help you negative to social complexities of the workplace, lead and motivate others, and excel in your career. In fact, when it comes to gauging important jobs candidates, many companies now rate emotional intelligence as important as technical ability and employ EQ, IQ testing before hiring. Hiring, okay.
Okay, what do you understand on this one?
Emotional intelligence. If you I understand that if you don't canalize your emotion, your let me see, yes, your emotion is you probably don't have an opportunity to get a job, or you probably do have a problem if you are studying. I think we need to kind of like the other form of your emotional problems. For it is very necessary to contact a professional. I think for it exists the psychology. I think they can help. It can give you some rules how you can to do for solve your emotional problems, I think.
Very good. Actually, your analysis is very good because, I mean, if something is not working in your emotions, definitely where you have to go is to the psychologist, right? Psychologist is the specialist in emotions. So they try to understand, to check why something is happening. And in this one actually says, I mean, emotional intelligence can help you in the workplace, of course. In work, if you have very good emotional intelligence, everything is going to be fine. To lead and motivate other people, excel in your career, right? To be very good. And also, they can help you in all the aspects of life. I mean, there are, for example, some men that they are not able to have girlfriend because they cannot speak with girls. That is also a problem of emotional intelligence. They have to be empathetic with girls so they understand, and they understand what they are looking to. So there are many things that can help you with the emotional intelligence. Let's check some words. Navigate the social complexities. You know what is a complexity, right? Something complex of the workplace. Lead and motivate others. And excel. Excel, remember, that is a verb. That is to be excellent. Okay, in Spanish, we don't have that one. But in English, we can say, I excel in this. So I am excellent, right? In your career. In fact, when it comes to gouging, what is gouging? Anybody knows?
I don't know.
Okay, gouging is a verb that refers when you evaluate the impact of something. That is gauge. When you evaluate how big something is going to be, how it's going to impact you. So that is gouging. Let me think. Important job candidates. Many companies now rate emotional intelligence support as technical ability and employee equity testing before hiring. What is hiring?
It's the process of hires other person to a company.
When someone contracts someone for works, I think.
Perfect, that is it. So hiring is when you get new employees into the companies. Nice. Okay, any other question that you might have? Okay, let's move on. So what else does affect that one? Jamie, Raquel.
Your physical health. If you're unable to manage your emotion, you are probably not managing your stress either. This can lead to serious health problems. Uncontrolled stress raises blood pressure, suppresses the immune system, increases the risk of heart attacks, and strong, contributes to infertility and speed up the aging process. Aging process. The first step to improving emotional intelligence is to learn how to manage stress.
Very good. So what did you understand on this one, Jamie?
That each one another, we have to try to manage all the emotions that we can feel, because if are so bad feelings can impact on your health. So we need to try to handle it.
Okay, so yes, there are many things here. It's very important because we check that it can affect our relationship, but also a mind that can help your health. So you can feel sick because of unhealthy emotional intelligence. That is a big problem. So it says that if you are unable, what is unable? I know that you know.
Incapaz.
Yeah, it's like can't, right? Very good. So it's exactly that one. Then it's unable to manage your emotions. You are probably not managing your stress either. And it says, look what it says. This can lead to serious health problems. Uncontrolled stress raises blood pressure. That is the first one. So you're going to have with high pressure all the time. That's not good. Suppresses the immune system. So if you are too stressed, you can get a sickness very fast. Increases the risk of heart attacks in mind. If you are too stressed, you can get some problems with your heart. And strokes. Do you know what is a stroke? Okay, stroke is like when you have in the brain, in your head, when you have something going on and you could die from that one. And then sometimes, because of the stroke in your head, your brain, it paralyzes your face. And sometimes it paralyzes the half of your body. So that is a stroke. So it's a very serious problem. Mind contributes to
I don't understand, teacher. What is strokes?
Stroke.
In Spanish, like a derrame.
Algo así. Very good. Nice.
Ah, okay.
Or para cerebral paralysis.
That is another thing, but it's similar. Yeah, it's similar to that. Very nice that you understood. Nice. So the other one says contributes infertility. In mind, though, you want to have a baby, but if you are too stressed, not possible sometimes. And speed up the aging. Do you know what is aging?
No.
Aging is when you get old. So if you are too stressed, you are going to look very old very fast. So don't be stressed out, right? You need to relax. You need to control your feelings. You need to have good relationship with others. That is a very important thing. Any questions here?
Suppresses.
Which one?
Uncontrolled stress, raise blood pressure, suppresses the
Suppresses.
suppresses.
Suprimir.
Oh.
Okay. Very good. Let's move on. All right. This is going to be for, let's see. Héctor Francisco.
Okay, teacher, I will try because here is fiestas patronales en fire, ¿cómo se llaman? Fuegos artificiales.
You have fire. Let's go there. Invite us. We're going to be there.
It's a lot loud, but I will try, teacher.
Of course.
Your mental health, uncontrolled emotion and stress can also impact your mental health. making you vulnerable to anxiety,
Anxiety.
anxiety,
Anxiety.
and depression. Depression?
Depression, yeah.
Depression. If you are unable to understand, get comfortable with, or manage your emotion, you will also struggle.
Struggle.
To form a strong relationship. This in turn can leave you feeling lonely and isolated. And further exacerbate any mental health problems.
Okay, what did you understand on this one?
I think it's very important have a good mental health. When we have a lot of problem on myself, it's necessary to get a search the way for freedom, teacher, stress, and have a good mental health. I think, teacher. I'm sorry.
No, that's fine. Very good. I liked it. So, yes, in mind, everything that affects you affects your mental health as well. So, uncontrolled emotions and stress can also impact your mental health, making you vulnerable to anxiety. Oh, anxiety is not good, right? So, that is something that is not good. And depression, of course, that is also not good, right? If you are unable to understand, get comfortable with, or manage your emotions, you also struggle. Do you remember what is struggle? Struggle is to fight inside of you. So when you struggle with something, it's because inside of your mind, you are fighting. You don't decide on something. You are thinking too much about something. So that is the struggle. Okay? To form strong relationships. This in turn can leave you feeling lonely and isolated. Do you know what is isolated? Isolate. Go ahead.
Feeling lonely. Feeling lonely is feel alone. Huh?
Exactly.
And
isolated.
Isolated. No.
Okay. Actually, it's very similar. Isolated means that you are lonely and separated from the world. So that is isolated. When you are in your room and you feel that you don't belong to this world and you don't want to, you cannot be with somebody else's, that is isolated. Okay. And then it says, and further exacerbate. Okay, that is exacerbate is like when you do a problem worse. Okay, so that is exacerbate. When you have a situation and then when you exacerbate, it means that that situation gets worse and worse, bigger and bigger, something like that. Any mental health problem. So that happens. For example, I believe that everybody have had something like that. You have a problem in your mind and you are overthinking and you cannot sleep, you cannot eat, you cannot do anything because of the problem that you have in your head. But when you face the problem, you realize that the problem was not that big, that the solution was very easy. So that is exacerbate. You exacerbated too much. You talk too much about the problem. So that. Any questions on this? Okay, let's move on to the next one. All right. This is going to be for, let's see, Herman Alexander. Not possible. Carla Lorena.
Okay, your relationship by understanding your emotion and how to control them. You're better able to express how you feel and understand how others are feeling. This allows you to communicate more effectively and forge a stronger relationship, both at work and at your personal life.
What did you understand on this one?
Is that you understand your emotion and how to you communicate your emotional with other people in the work in your personal life and how you feel and how understand to others, to other people that the people feel.
Very good.
To
Go ahead.
communicate more effectivity and more stronger with the people or with all people, with co-worker, with family, with all.
Very good. Perfect. So definitely the emotional intelligence affects your relationships. So if you understand your emotions and also you are able to control, then you will be able to communicate better, to express your feelings, to express what you want and what you don't want, right? And also understand others people's feelings. So definitely you are going to have better relationships with any person, okay? And that is not only at work, but also in your personal life. Okay, let's check some words here. Able to feel and understand how others are feeling allows you. What is to allow? Allows you, says. What is that?
That you permit to something.
Perfect, when you permit to do something. And then it says more effectively and force. Force is like to create stronger relationships. Okay, any questions? Any other questions here?
Forge, teacher.
To create.
Okay.
Create. Okay, let's move on. Of course, it's going to affect your social intelligence. Let's see. This is going to be for Daniel Antonio Luna.
Okay, your social intelligence being in tune with your emotion service and social purpose, connecting you to other people and the world around you. Social intelligence enables you to recognize trends from both measure another person's interest in you, reduce stress, balance your nervous system, through social communication, and feel loved and happy.
Okay, what did you understand on this one?
Okay, my social intelligence is to is for reduce my stress, and, I feel happy in love with through another person.
Okay. So that is it. The social intelligence is like that one, right? Being in tune with your emotions says serves a social purpose, connecting you to other people and the world around you. So social intelligence enables you to recognize friends from foe. What is foe? Anybody knows what is a foe?
No.
Foe is a synonym for enemy. So if you are very good with the emotional intelligence, you will be able to understand who is your friend and who is your enemy, and how other people interest in you, reduce stress, balance your nervous system through social communications, and feel loved and happy. Of course, if you have a very good and balanced emotional intelligence, you will be happy. That is for sure. Any questions here?
What's mean being in tune?
Okay, being in tune is like be connected. Is like I would say that in Spanish. En sintonía, estar en sintonía, estar a tono. Very good. Any other question? Okay, let's move on. Building emotional intelligence. So it says there are 4 key skills to increasing your EQ, because we understand now that there are 4 different factors or attributes that there is very important and affects many things. But we can say then, how can we have a better emotional intelligence? Okay, Kenny and Cecilia, please help me reading.
Okay, building emotional intelligence. For this skill to increasing your EQ. The skills that make up emotional intelligence can be learned at any time. However, it's important to remember that there is a difference between simple learning about EQ and applying that knowledge to your life. Just because you know you should do something doesn't mean you will, especially when you become overwhelmed by stress, which can override your best intention. In order to permanently change behavior in ways that stand up under pressure, you need to learn how to overcome stress in the moment and in your relationship in order to remain emotional aware.
Okay, what did you understand on this one?
Well, I understand that your emotional intelligence is related with your intelligence EQ. Because if you know how you can obtain emotional intelligence, you get better skills for increase your IQ.
Okay, very good, perfect. So that is it, right? So yes, there are, sometimes we know that we have to change something. But what it says here is that sometimes we know that we have to change something in our personality or our emotional intelligence, but we don't do anything. We know that we have to do something about it, but it's like, well, I'm angry and I cannot do anything about it. So that's what it says here, right? We need to do something about it, because if we don't, I mean, it's going to continue impacting our life, right? Let's check some vocabulary. It says skills that make up emotional intelligence can be learned at any time. However, it's important to remember that there is a difference between, let's see. Overwhelmed. Anybody knows what is to be overwhelmed? Okay, overwhelmed is algo así como abrumado. It's like, my goodness, I don't know what to do, right? Override. What is override? Okay, override is like separate, like delete. In this case, your best intention. If you get angry, maybe your intentions were good, but you, cause a problem. Let's see. To overcome. Anybody knows what is overcome? Okay, overcome is like when you have a problem and you solve that problem. So you overcome the situation. You overcome the problem. In this case, you overcome the stress. And to be aware, do you know what is to be aware? The last word, emotionally aware, says. What is to be aware?
When you know what are you doing.
Very good. That is to be aware. When you know, when you are conscious about something that you're doing. Perfect. Very good. Any other question here? Okay, let's continue then. This one is going to be for, let's see, who hasn't read? Samantha.
Building emotional intelligence. Key skill 1, self-management. In order for you to engage your EQ, you must be able to use your emotions to make constructive decisions about your behavior. When you become overly stressed, you can lose control of your emotions and the ability to act thoughtfully and appropriately. Think about a time when stress has overwhelmed you. What is not easy to think clearly or make a rational decision? Probably not. When you become overstressed, your ability to both think clearly and accurately assess emotions, your own and other people's, becomes compromised.
Okay, what did you understand on the first skill?
I think when you have overstress, you can't take good decisions because you angry or you are stressed, and it's important to take a break and calm down to take a better decision.
Very good. So that is it. This is related to the ones that we checked before, right? Self-management. It's like self-control. You need to control yourself so you can make a rational decision. Think clearly. Don't make decisions when you are emotional, when you are angry, when you are sad, or when you are, for example, do you remember when they say that you don't have to go to the supermarket and buy things when you are hungry, right? If you're hungry, you want everything, right? Maybe you are not going to eat it, but you want to get everything in the supermarket. It's the same. When you are angry, you cannot make a very good decision. That is for sure. Let's check some words. Engage. What is engage?
Kind of to get a compromise.
A compromise, very good. Engage with yourself, right? Let's see what else. Decisions, behavior. It says the ability to act thoughtfully. Thoughtfully is, thinking about very well, right? In your thoughts, in your mind. We checked overwhelmed already. Let's see. Accurately. What is accurately?
When it's exactly.
Exactly, precise. Very good. Assess. What is to assess? Okay, assess is to evaluate. Okay, is for example, when they say the assessment is an evaluation. And that's it. Do you have any other question here?
The teacher access is meaning evaluation, right?
Access, yeah.
What kind of access emotion? Countable. Access countable or uncountable? For example, emotion no is countable.
The word you say access.
Yeah.
Well, that is not a noun, so it's not countable or uncountable. That is a verb, so it's different.
Okay.
So the verbs are not countable or uncountable. It's just a verb. Okay. Okay, so let's continue with this one. Let's see. Nelson Rodas.
Okay, teacher.
Okay.
Emotions are important pieces of information that tell you about yourself and others. But in the face of stress that takes us out of our comfort zones, we can become overwhelmed and lose control of ourselves. Okay. With the ability to manage stress and stay emotional present, you can learn to receive observing information without letting it override your thoughts and self-control. You'll be able to make choices that allow you to control impulsive feelings and behaviors. Manage your emotions in healthy ways, take initiative, follow through and commitments, and adapt to changing circumstances.
Very good. What did you understand on this one?
I think says the way that you can manage your stress or your emotion.
Very good. So yeah, emotionally. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
And also, and saying about your thoughts, and also you can manage self-control.
Okay, very good. So, as you say, definitely. So, it's talking about yourself and others and those relationships. So, you need to control yourself so you are able to decide what is the best, right? Let's check some vocabulary here. Let's see. Comfort zone, I know that you know. Overwhelmed. Let's see. All right, we checked that already. I don't see any new word. Do you have any questions?
Upsetting.
Very good. Upsetting. That is true. Upsetting is like when you feel sad or angry about something. So you can say, this is upsetting you. It's something that bothers you.
Teacher, could you repeat override, please?
Yeah, override is to eliminate, to separate something.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Okay, let's move on. Key skill number 2. Let's see who has somewhere. Sulma Yanez.
Key skill 2, self-awareness. Managing stress is just the first step to building emotional intelligence. The science of attachment indicates that your current emotional experience is likely a reflection of your early life experience. Your ability to manage core feelings such as anger, sadness, fear, and joy often depends on the quality and consistency of your early life emotional experience. If your primary caretaker as an infant understood and valued your emotions, it's likely your emotions have become valuable assets in adult life. But if your emotional experience as an infant were confusing, frightening, or painful, it's likely you tried to distance yourself from your emotions.
Perfect. What did you understand on this one?
Say that it is important the thing that you that you live in your infant and how you learn to manage your emotions at the beginning, at the start of your life, and that experience help you to when you are adult to manage in the same way.
Perfect. You explained it exactly the way it is. So, everything that reflects you in your adult life is something from happens in your childhood. But you can also change that one. If you want to change something, you can manage to change that or handle it, right? Not change, but handle it. Let's check some words. Just the building emotions, sense. Attachment. What is attachment?
Like investigations?
Huh?
Like
Okay, you add something. You add something, I think.
Very good. When you add,
documents.
yeah, you can attach documents, but you can attach, in this case, we're talking about attach feelings. So you can attach, link, add something. So that will be current. Remember that is like in this moment. Let's see. Caretaker. Do you know what is caretaker?
Is the person that take you in some moment.
Very good. Is a person that takes care of you, right? In this case, in your primary. Sometimes the most common is mother and father. Let's see. Assets. What is assets? The assets is like bienes. The bienes muebles. Threatening. That is a good one. Threat. What is to threat? The threat is amenazar. Okay, amenazante. So, and painful is full of pain, right? That's it. Do you have any questions on this? No questions. All right, my friends. We didn't finish, no pudimos terminar, but we're going to finish tomorrow with this topic. So, do you have any questions before we continue?
No.
Okay, very good. So, my friends, good Monday. So, it was very nice to be here with you. Let's check the attendance. Christian Alexander Arevalo Delgado. Daniel Antonio Luna.
Present.
Good. Daniel Arquímedes Florentino García.
Present.
Good. Erika Yasmin Martínez Carpio.
Present.
Good. Fátima Denise Aguilar Márquez.
Present, teacher.
Good. Herman Alexander Durán Linares.
Present.
Good. Héctor Francisco Morales Rico.
Present, teacher.
Good. Iván Petrovich Guzmán Aquino.
Present.
Good. Jamie Raquel Escobar Alfaro.
Present.
Good. Holman Saúl Girón Sánchez. Good. José Alberto Baños Hernández.
Present.
Good. Carla Lorena Leiva Contreras.
Present.
Good. Kenia Cecilia Ruiz Morán.
Present.
Good. Lucy Natalie Juárez de Ramírez.
Present.
Good. Manuel Antonio Escamilla Jurado. Nelson Antonio Herrodas Rosales.
Present.
Good. Osvin Alexis Flores Hernández.
Present.
Good. Samantha Marisol Campos Flamenco.
Present.
Good. Zulma Janet Ramírez Ábalos.
Present.
Good. Vanessa Noemí Reyes Lemos.
Present.
Bless you. David Alexander Rodríguez Sánchez.
Present, teacher.
All right, my friends, it was fantastic to be with you tonight, the one-on-one of today for Ivan Petrovich. And the rest of you, see you tomorrow. Have a very good night. Rest very well and dream in English.
Thank you. Good night.
Good night.
Okay,
Good night, everybody. See you tomorrow.
Goodbye.
Bye, teacher.
Hello, Ivan. How are you?
Okay, teacher. Thank you for asking.
Nice, perfect. I really like your name. It's very rusky, very Russian. Very nice.
What's many Ruskin?
Rusky is Russian in Russian. It's Russo and Russo. Rusky.
Hey, yeah, it's Petrovich meaning hijo de Pedro in Spanish.
Yeah, very good, very nice.
For me, it's a last for me it's a name. Petrovich is a last name in the Russia.
That is true. It's the last name, but it's a very nice one. Very good. Okay.
Thank you.
So the first question I have for you is, how do you feel that you are moving on? Do you feel that you are learning in the classes?
Yeah, teacher. I for be honest, I feel stressful.
Really stressful?
It's stressful in my. It's a problem. It's a problem personal. It's in this moment. It's como que me ha bajado el ánimo de seguir aprendiendo. No es que no lo quiera seguir aprendiendo, pero quiera si o no, I feel down in the.
Really? It's because of personal problem, you say?
Yeah, sí, no es algo que me va a matar tampoco, pero.
All right. No, I understand.
Pero sí.
That happens. That happens. Sometimes, I mean, everything affects everything, right? So I hope you can solve what is causing this one. My best advice for you is to continue. I mean, this is going to be forever. If you learn English, it's going to help you. And you are in intermediate already. The most difficult part is to start. But if you are on the classes already, if you have the opportunity, let's move on, let's continue. That is the thing.
Sí, yes, thank you. Lo que siempre a mí it's a hard for me is dejar de pensar en español, porque me dice una amiga que vive allá en New York, de que como a veces nos ponemos a platicar y me dice que vos pensás mucho en español, me dice. Entonces, es difícil.
Sí, lo que pasa es de que fíjese que sí, es difícil. Yo entiendo que a veces hay palabras que se empiezan como es, ¿verdad? Que lo queremos traducir. Una de las cosas que tenemos que hacer es empezar a pensar en inglés todo el tiempo. O sea, usted se levanta y dice, me voy a echar un cafecito con unos frijolitos. Todo eso hay que pensarlo en inglés, ¿verdad? Si usted va a hacer algo y no sabe la palabra, la busca en el diccionario, la aprende y ya mañana ya se la va a saber y la comienza a practicar. Y de repente, ya no lo va a hacer. Entonces, lo que tiene que hacer es eso. En su mente empezar usted se queda pensando cosas, analizando, ¿verdad? Esos análisis en su mente los puede hacer en inglés y de repente dice, eso no sé cómo se dice, lo voy a buscar. Lo aprende y ahí se va a ir.
Vaya, la otra cosa es de que lo que usted pone de poner los vídeos, de ahí del topic, el topic de clase, is good. But en mi caso, yo entiendo, pero yo lo entiendo como, how do you explain? Como parchado. This a phrase y this phrase, sí, como parchadito, palabra por aquí, palabra por allá, palabra aquí, pero no llego yo a como amarrar la idea, ¿me entiendes? No sé si me doy a explicar.
Dice que yo pienso que lo causa lo mismo. Yo pienso que es porque usted entiende una, dos, tres palabras y las quiere traducir y la otra no entendió y no sabe, pero en lugar de eso simplemente escuche. Cuando usted escucha, que es lo mismo que pensar en inglés, va a entender lo importante. Nunca va a entender todo ahorita. A este nivel que estamos ahorita no va a entender todo un video, aunque vea las palabras, porque hay vocabulario que no conocemos, ¿verdad? Y que es lo que estamos tratando de construir ahorita. Luego, lo que tiene que tratar de hacer es de entender la idea general. Entonces, usted entiende la idea general y pues entendió. Ese es el punto. Ahora, si usted quiere agarrar un video, también eso es una buena práctica. Agarra un video, agarra una película, si usted quiere algo que usted ya conozca, ya la vio, y puede empezar a escuchar tranquilo, a ver cómo se pronuncia, a buscar palabras. Por ejemplo, un video de 5 minutos es suficiente pues, para mantenerse ocupado un buen rato, buscar vocabulario, y como ahí están las palabras y la dice, usted puede ver la pronunciación y ir entendiendo cómo se unen las palabras, porque las palabras se van uniendo. Uno cuando habla solo las dice, pero tienen un sentido, ¿verdad? O sea, sin andar analizando tanto que si está verbo y si está adjetivo. De manera lógica le van a decir.
Ok. Sí, por el momento sí es lo que yo estoy tratando de equilibrar ahí, ¿verdad? La parte esa del listen, ¿verdad? Con el speak, ¿verdad? Siento que como que van amarradas las dos cositas, ¿verdad?
Por supuesto. Perfecto. No, pero continúe. Yo siento que va bien. Entiende bastante, habla bastante. Entonces, si continúa de la misma manera y empieza a pensar en inglés poco a poco, porque es eso que se va a dar poco a poco. De repente se le va a olvidar el español.
De ahí, perdón, de ahí hay otra que yo no sé si quizás estoy cometiendo algún mistake, ¿verdad? Porque yo veo varios así, videos que salen en Instagram o en YouTube, tanto que persona ahí que se pone a estar enseñando inglés, ¿verdad? Entonces yo identifico que hay muchas palabras, no son como idioms, pero son como palabras de expresiones que dan ideas, pero son más cortas y nada que ver con lo que normalmente uno escucha, pues, ¿verdad?
Sí, eso es normal también. Hay muchos slang, muchos idioms que va a depender del país al que vaya. Yo tengo un amigo que él era muy bueno, graduado de la Nacional de Inglés y se fue a trabajar allá a Canadá. Y cuando se bajó del avión no entendía nada, ¿verdad? Porque eso pasa, ¿verdad? La gente habla ya a su manera, con su acento y con su jerga de la calle. Entonces, igual si se va para otro país de Canadá, para Inglaterra, por ejemplo, también ahí hablan de su manera, igual que el español aquí, ¿verdad? Se viene un español para acá y se baja del avión y le dice a uno, puchica vos, te tardaste un montón. Ese puchica no lo entendió, ¿verdad? Y se perdió, se quedó pensando, y eso no quise decir, ¿verdad? Aunque lo demás lo entiende. Eso va a saber qué onda, quizás. Entonces, eso sucede, ¿verdad? Es normal. Y yo siento que el proceso va bien, o sea, no siento que vaya mal todo lo demás.
Ok.
Ok, very good. ¿Tiene alguna pregunta, duda?
Sí, pero es que igual yo a veces yo tengo problemas como pero esa clase no la hemos visto. Es que le cuento, ¿va? Para ponerlo en contexto. Yo dejé de estudiar inglés hace como, bueno, los últimos ingleses que yo recibí fueron en la universidad. Yo salí allá en el 2008, imagínense. Entonces, y he retomado el inglés hoy a mediados, que no, casi final del 2022, ¿va? Es como por octubre empecé los cursos, ¿va? Entonces, hay cierto, por ejemplo, los pronombres posesivos, los del him, los del her, esos a veces, como es salvadoreño, como que se me traban las carretas, vean. Entonces, no sé si usted tendrá algún material o algún link que me pueda proporcionar como para reforzar esa parte, porque siento que, por ejemplo, lo que usted prepara para que nosotros hagamos el reading y toda la cosa, utiliza bastante pues, esa es la forma de hacerlo, pues, ¿verdad?
Ujú. Sí, sí, le puedo mandar mañana, cuando pueda o más tarde, puedo mandar un link de eso. Es bien fácil, la verdad. Igual lo que yo le recomiendo es eso. Lo bueno es de que usted identifica que le cuesta. Cuando le cueste, solo se va a internet y pone explicación, ¿verdad? De esto y le va a salir. Y de ahí pone ejercicios y empieza a hacer. Si le sale malo, analice por qué le salió malo. Hasta que llegue a un punto que le va a salir todo bien y lo va a entender. Pero eso pasa cuando uno deja de estudiar a veces y hay temas que a lo mejor ya vieron y no se van a volver a repetir. Entonces es bueno que usted, sabiendo qué es lo que le hace falta, simplemente lo busque y los practique. Eso es una cuestión de unos 10 minutos y si no lo entendió, mañana otros 10 minutos y de 10 minutos en 10 minutos va a llegar a entender.
Sí, ok. Pues sí, le agradecería mucho.
Perfecto. Bueno, good night. Have a very good night and see you tomorrow. Rest very well.
See you tomorrow, teacher. Good night.
Good night.